Bingy, Okavango, Rasdada, Yaga, Truck Fender, the Living Fire represent to the fullest. See? Perfect balance. Don't know so. Tread class. Living Fire represent. Keep the fire burning out. What Emmanuel I keep it like right. See?
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
There is no way Zelensky could have waited from the war start. So him been a lose for him decide to take the bribe and start and make the war start and not talk to Putin, him already lose. Because these people, them never was on his side. All they want was to dismantle Russia. All them want was occupy Russia.
Fine, agreed. They want to dismantle Russia, right? But once countries start rebelling or territories start rebelling, and now you give them the autonomy, now it's a country, you're no longer under Russia rule, You have a government structure, president, prime minister, cabinet. You have a government, you are country, so now you become a sovereign nation. You should have the ability to do what you want to do, make decisions. Because we, for example, we coming from the Caribbean, we go through the same thing. Or you're so-called independent, but yet the British telling you what to do. So I'm saying, as a country, they should have the right to choose in what direction they want to. Whether or not Russia feel that they losing territory and face.
But Benji, as a man who decides to get into politics, you have to know geopolitics. A Jamaican prime minister knows that there are certain things that they can't do. There are certain things that no care how you say, okay, this is an independent country and whatever. You can't do what you want to do. That is geopolitics.
But that have to change because that have to change. When will you ever be sovereign? You'll never be sovereign if you don't have control of your own destiny. You can never be sovereign.
In the perfect utopian world, where everything is fine and everything is okay, that is it.
Zelensky must challenge the system.
Zelensky already lost once he decided that he was gonna let them back him to fight Putin. Because look at this now. In the first place, they don't want him in the EU. They don't want him in NATO. They had no thought. They had no thing to put him in the first place. All they want him to do is just fight Russia. So him going into the whole of it.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Well, he know, and them can't tell him them company now.
Right,
you know what I mean? So this is money for them, And guess what now? All those weapons that they sent to Ukraine is now battle tested. So guess what? More money. Because guess what? People see that, hey, they use that weapon.
They're reliable.
Other countries want them now, you know.
They're reliable.
They are no battle tested.
Yeah. Because when they're selling it, they're going to say, oh, this was used in the Ukraine conflict.
Yeah. The pipers getting paid.
Yes, there's nothing else for America to gain from it, you know. They already hold back Russia because Russia was getting richer and richer. Yeah, I mean, so them because of what of Russia, I know they have arms deal to make. They have things to buildings to make back and things to you know what I mean? Infrastructure to return on investment.
When they realize that the middle where they might go up on our control a piece of land, so they want to say, all right, we have to drive for road and peace talk, you know, and nobody control a lot of it. Even if it means that we have to work in Russia and get them, because a win-win for win. Russia, Ukraine, we win, see them we.
What you are going now? Russia are moving and a cover out of the place, you know. So Russia are going to move in now, you know, and also engulf the mineral place them now, you know.
And that's what they do.
Stop the war before Russia get the mineral, you know. So
that's what they did.
They want to stop the war before Russia get the mineral, you know. We say, okay, all right, Russia, take the piece over there, so.
Right.
And we roll up on the piece over there, so.
Right.
Because if Russia...
slide in our walls. Slide in our walls in USDs. So no. No,
be careful.
I say, oh, you can sign this. I know, I mean, I know why you sign up for 100 days.
Well, be careful, Yaga, because Britain has they want to put boots on the ground, you know. they will use conscripts. So maybe I see a name.
Them not powerful enough. Them not a big enough army in Europe to do that.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
So
no, sir.
That's not that chance.
But with the whole overlap this thing, when I watch the thing, I kind of feel a bit sorry for Zelensky, but what does watching the like, because you can see that this is an ambush. This is not something that happened after just, you know what I mean?
It was orchestrated.
Yeah, man, it was orchestrated, man. It was planned, man. This has to be planned. Two of the man, them like, it's a tag team thing. One go and then the other one go and, you know what I mean? And in can't answer no question like, and they have answer, the answer they already prepared.
No, you see what they have black leaders. No, you see what they do with
but it's good that it happened like this because it really exposed them for who they are. They children in a playground, brother. They police, right?
Yeah, man.
But we already know that. But because of this publicity now, the world could really sit back and watch and examine what just happened.
Yeah,
right.
And
we see world leaders reacting to what just happened. We see people talking about what just happened, right? So we could. This has been a great moment to highlight who America really is.
Unfortunately, a peace in Ukraine is a win for Africa because it means more fertilizer will go on the continent and we can produce more food in agriculture and feed the people. And a lot more restrictions can lift up, you know?
Yeah, but even that too, right? When you talk about more fertilizer and things for the continent, our brethren do chicken farming, for example, right? In Tanzania. and he have some thousands of chicken, right? So the I buy 5 acres of land to grow maize and things to make his own chicken feed. And the reason why he say the chicken feed that they import and the fertilizers and stuff, a lot of them are inferior. So if Africans figure out now how to make their own thing, that's the best thing for the continent. Is you see,
nitrogen,
and feed and things. That's what they have to figure out, how to make their own thing.
Yes. Yeah. They didn't like the argument. They must see the war start and they must say, boy, Africa, fertilizer and wheat and everything. They say, I mean, so Africa food dependency depends on Ukraine. You know what I mean?
Fertilizer, especially.
Yeah, fertilizer, yeah. But we understand still because, you know what I mean?
But the conflict, right? Russia, that whole conflict, America, all of this. Listen, man, these things that all goes on as before. These things been happening, will continue to happen. However, Ukraine come out of this, there's a choice they made, right? Whether they went left, they went right, they made that choice.
Say thank you.
Said a lot of
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. You're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
They have to learn some conflict resolution.
Man, conflict resolution. I personally believe that Zelensky made the wrong choice of, I think he could have resolved the conflict before he got to this part. You know what I mean? Because he could have be a balancing somebody in the middle of everything. It didn't have to choose a side.
Romanticization, no. Too, right? When there is romanticization in the fact that when world leaders preach something to you, or you could become part of NATO, for example, right?
Yeah, and part of the EU.
So now you feel like you're under this umbrella of protection as well, and the resources you're going to share from NATO allies, right?
Really?
So it's a romanticization that is happening
in his policy
between the leader of a country and what the possibilities are if they join NATO. So
when he
made
ran
that
for
choice.
president, in his manifesto, he said that he was gonna improve bilateral agreement and trade with Russia, and he then looked the complete opposite of what he promised to the people.
Yeah.
And Russia seeing the threat of NATO moving closer to its border, and they've ignored the 2014 agreement that they've signed to rearm after them take away Crimea. We see it result in the special military operation, as they call it.
But we go back to agreements that they signed in the Cold War era where they say NATO will expand. I would say NATO just keep expanding. You know what I mean? So those things have been violated all the time. And then now with Ukraine, NATO will be right on Russia's doorstep.
Those are the mistrust that we were talking about earlier on. So we see mistrust between countries, you know, and in their geopolitical strategy for resources, you see a miscalculation happen, and this is the result of those miscalculations.
Politics never works, Roots, on that no level that they work.
I know that. Looking at it, right? Two section war. You have Russia on one side and NATO on one side, right? And Ukraine is in the middle. I don't like just thinking on the top of my mind. I don't know why Ukraine would want to join NATO or even join with anybody. Because if the war starts, I am the first. I am first in the line of fire, and I mean, why would you want to be?
And not just that alone. And not just that alone. History of warring, you know. They've got long history of warring from the Tsar them time, you know, and Ivan the Great and them on the time, you know, them are war, you know. We're because remember, say Ukraine are hungry to have an alliance, you know, which was so massive than Europe, than Russia itself. When them join with Germany and Italy, that's why Britain Britain and Russia joined France in a World War One because of that little piece of war there. Hungary was a major part and Ukraine was a major part of it because Poland had absorbed a lot of the Ukrainian land.
Poland?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, they were allies.
I said the perfect balance, third class. I don't know, say a Chuck Fender, the living for this represents. Good over evil, me tell them, see a life over death. I swear, said I will never switch. Keep the fire burning out. Holy Emmanuel, I Selassie, Jah, blazing fire.